Okay, this dude is not a super fan. This dude is a super creep and has a super negative impact on the game industry and people in general. And just like seriously, block these people instantly. You know who I'm talking about. There's a bunch of them, and I've blocked or called out a bunch of them recently. But so let's get into it. So this person is saying that Gabe's going to Antarctica and going through New Zealand. So that means Half-Life 3 must be happening in Antarctica. Or that somehow he is a concept artist and photo collector for the project, and he's getting some source material because those people don't exist. So, right, this first of all puts Gabe as this object that everything he does has to do with Half-Life 3, and then it diminishes everybody else who does the actual work on these projects in the role that they play as not counting, because you got to send Gabe to get the photos. But it's just creepier than that. I yelled at another one of these guys the other day because they were saying that some certain people coming back to Valve meant that Half-Life 3 was happening. And I'm like, that's really gross to objectify those people. They're my friends. And they're coming back. Maybe if you look around the game industry, that no fault of their own, stuff that they work on didn't hit. And Valve does this really great thing that they'll let you come back. And these are human beings, and who knows what they're working on there. But no, you want to simplify their entire lives and make it just to be about you and what you want. And this is gross, and this is creepy, and this is really weird. And I get you're going to say, well, I'm just a fan. No. So one time at Valve, when I was working there, I was having a meeting, and people were walking by and kind of laughing and stuff. And I thought they knew something was up. I don't bring phones into the meetings. I do meetings because I want to get them done. So finish the meeting, and ends up some guy had gone on Reddit and kind of live posted about trying to deliver me flowers. That was his gag, right? He no longer saw me as a human being. He saw me as this object. And that's really creepy, because that's really creepy then of... so first of all, Valve did the right thing, and they just ejected him out. There was no like, hey, you get to meet Cheddar, or you get to meet Gabe, or anybody. No, you're just a creep. You're a stalker. You're a weird creep. There's a good stalker at the game. There's bad stalkers. And no, you just get ejected because you're a creep. You're a creep. And it's really unsettling, though, because so somebody who comes up in the parking lot to me to ask me a question or talk with me as human beings about things, about the weather, about the rain, or are they doing some gag? Are they doing something for Reddit? That was unsettling. And it was after I had somebody who threatened me and my family and went just crazy that I should get some kind of vengeance because I didn't add something in the Left 4 Dead 2 that I had promised. I never promised it. He misread an interview where I said that we prototyped a bunch of stuff and didn't put stuff in. He got so bad, and I blocked him on so many platforms, and I was actually going to the city where he was living in, that I reached out. And I'm like, why are you so angry at me about this? I never said this. What are you talking about? What a liar, crazy person I am? And he said what it was, and then I showed him the interview. I'm like, this is the interview that you're taking that from. You're misunderstanding. Do you understand that? He goes, oh, yeah, my bad. I had to contact the Valve lawyers before going to E3 about that. I'm like, hey, this is weird. And they had the suggestion of reaching out. So you can be a nice person, but when you shrink somebody down into an object that has this function for you and not living their lives, you are unleashing hell, and you are being a creep. So look at, I think it was this guy was the one who started the rumor that Half-Life 3 was going to be announced at the Game Awards. And so this built up all this steam. And if you go on to Reddit, you'll see the reaction was people got mad at Valve. People got mad at people at Valve because this loon's made-up fantasy about Half-Life wasn't true. And he's just making this all up because he wants internet points, right? He's a pathetic human being who has nothing else to offer in life except these kind of things. And then people follow him for that content, which they may be just fans of the game and not realizing how destructive people like this are. But this is why you don't see people often showing behind-the-scenes stuff, showing their house. You see very little of my house ever. Or just sharing real thoughts or struggles, because the creeps. If I start talking about the struggles that we had with the game, there'll be a whole bunch of people who will be like, oh my God, I have that same thing, right? And so that's why I do it. And I decided, screw it, like my face stuff breaking back out. And then there's other people, though, who will use that as some kind of like lever and try to like, it's weird, man. People are weird. And, you know, everyone's a human being. Like, in this whole, like, I'm not into the whole celebrity BS thing, right? Like, through my years, I've gotten to meet a whole bunch of people in the industry and a whole bunch of people in the movie industry during the VR stuff. And I don't like, oh my God, this person's made all these giant movies. Like, I don't care. I don't care. I have had, I had a Hollywood director ask me to text him back about something, and I didn't, because I'm like, what am I going to get out of that? Where if my friend David Goldfarb asked me to have a chat, and I was like, oh man, I forgot. I was supposed to have a chat with you this weekend, and looking back at it. And so, I mean, he's made great stuff, right? I mean, he's made Battlefield Bad Company 2, Payday 2. There's a lot of twos. And then Metal Hellsinger. But like to me, I'm way more excited to talk with him than some Hollywood director. He's more pertinent to kind of the things that I'm going to work on and stuff. Not to say that David's the bottom of human beings and the Hollywood director's the top, but how people treat these groups, that there's some value between them, and I just don't care at all. But yeah, so you're not a fan if you do this, if you objectify people and you make them smaller and you make them this object for you to fulfill this fantasy. You're not. You're a creep. And I've said that to some of these people directly. And I'll say it again here, right? This is not being a fan. This is making those creators that you say that you like and appreciate pull back, be scared, not share, not talk, and hire bodyguards.